Seriously guys, don't even try it once. It's not worth it.
Louis too. We're not that nice.
Are you a roller coaster enthusiast or are you a member of the general public? And I don't mean that condescendingly. Honestly, if you're a member of the general public, I envy you because I don't seem to get scared by roller coasters or rides in theme parks anymore. As a kid, I grew up petrified of the next biggest roller coaster, my first upside down ride, my first upside down roller coaster, because rides and roller coasters are different. I'm already annoyed at myself for this video. There was always something that would shiver the timbers out of me as a child. But now, as an ancient old adult, I don't really get that kind of fear anymore. Apart from in some cases. So here's a very, very personal list that's tailored to literally just me. But maybe you can relate to some of these things. Welcome to Louis Pooh's list of scariest roller coasters and rides ever. Okay, so I'm going to start off here with a story because if I were to just tell you the ride straight away, you wouldn't think that this was the scariest ride ever in the whole wide world. And once upon a time, somewhere in America, somewhere in one of the Six Flags parks, on one of either the Marvel or DC Universe roller coaster rides themings, there was an accident that happened on a drop tower. So I decided to familiarise myself with this accident. Clearly I'm very familiar with it. Before I went to a theme park that had a similar style ride. And lo and behold, I went on this ride and got stuck on it and my harness had to be checked twice. And I thought, just before we launched, this is the moment I'm going to die. And that was at Cliffhanger at Flamingo Land, which if it weren't for that incident, I actually would have thought was a very, very good flat ride. I know that that's probably one of the most anticlimactic stories in the world. I was fine, but it does get worse. Because of the delay on that ride, I didn't get back to the entrance of the park as early as I was hoping to. And for some extra context, this was a school trip in year 7. So for my Americans watching, that's the first year of high school. There's a lot of pressure riding on your shoulders to not be cringe and not embarrass yourself.
Hi guys! Hi! So that wasn't so successful just yet. But now...
I just never go to B&Q
B&Q!
instead.
Small portion of chips, please.
Sorry? Any?
Salt, please.
Sorry?
Salt.
Salt.
Sorry, did you say salt?
And I was so late that when I got onto that bus, everybody started booing at me.
Somebody get her spleen.
The teacher that told me off shouted at me. I'd never been shouted at before. I'm quite a goody two-shoes. He shouted at me, said, "You'll never go on another school trip." So even though I don't think he remembered saying that, I banished myself from almost all of the school trips up until year 10. And for my Americans, that's probably sophomore. I don't really know what that actually means. So that was very, very scary for me. And if you're thinking, I think I've heard this story before, well done. You're one of my 3 viewers on my live streams because I have told that story before. And I tell lots of embarrassing stories on my live streams. But that teacher that told me off, he looked after the classroom that held craft club. And so I was banned from craft club. I've also been banned from lots of seemingly innocent things too in my life, like alpaca walking, but I'm not going to go into that today. So Cliffhanger, absolutely terrifying.
Did I deserve the bullying? What do you think? Say something nice because I'm on the brink of Cliffhanger. I remember the ride Cliffhanger. Being inside is Cliffhanger. I was never going to die on Cliffhanger. I was prepubescent Cliffhanger.
And on a similar note, there is another roller coaster at Flamingo Land that's pretty terrifying. And you may be thinking, oh, it's probably Kumali because of how big it is. And how upside downy it is. Is it mumbo jumbo? I've just looked back at this video and I'm so sorry. You literally can't. It's like this, isn't it? I'm so sorry. And no, it isn't mumbo jumbo, although I could slip out my harness, as I told you guys in another video. It's actually Hero. So before I was ever allowed to go to Alton Towers to ride Air, which is now Galactica, you know, everybody wants to fly, that's the dream. I was so desperate to go on Galactica or Air. Couldn't get there. Couldn't really drive myself there because I was, what, 4? So I had to anticipate for the opening of Hero, which looked kind of the same thing. It's a flying coaster, right? And if anything, even cooler, better lift hill. If you're a theme park enthusiast from the UK, you know where this is going. It's just so painful. I can't even describe to you why. I think there's just no padding for your neck. You just have to suspend it while laid down. So you're basically doing a plank. There's not a lot of sort of in-betweeny stages on the rungs that you put your feet in. So for most people, you tend to either be too short or too tall to actually get into a comfortable position. Every inversion you just dread. And do not sit on the outside. It's genuinely not even worth it for the morbid curiosity of, oh, it's an infamous roller coaster. Don't do it. And I genuinely get very scared now on that spiral lift hill. Here's just some interesting lore behind that. Have any of you guys heard of Theme Park Worldwide on YouTube? Back in the day when he used to do Theme Park Worldwide, the show, I requested him to investigate Hero. And even Theme Park Worldwide, this was as it was being built, even Sean from Theme Park Worldwide couldn't predict the terror that was going to unfold when Hero opened.
Andrew Seeley. Louis Pooh. We love that name.
There's not even really any theming. It's so bad. It's so bad. That strikes abject fear into the hearts of all enthusiasts.
I wanted like you so bad 'cause plains and orange, I tried my hardest. The biggest disappointment of my childhood was the lack of padding in your harness. Damage to the verbal and creative parts of my brain. That's left and right. Maybe you should stop assuming all humans come exclusively for heights. It's not right. It's my fault, Sean, Road Hero. I'm sorry, Sean, that's my bad.
Louis Pooh. We love that
I
name.
won't make any more requests for your channel. I'm sure you're glad.
Okay, so I mentioned Alton Towers, and I'm about to bring up one that I actually really love, Alton Towers, but I do still get a little sweaty palms, a little nervous to go on. And what do you think it is? It's, again, probably not what you're thinking. It's 13. It's 13 with the most annoying spelling in the world. And no, it's not the grammar that terrifies me in this case, although it is a little bit, but that's not the reason I'm mentioning it. I always forget to say this in videos, but if you're actually enjoying any part of this, please give it a like and subscribe. It would really motivate me to make more videos because I put a stupid amount of time into these. It's the fact that I will not really queue for very long for it because it's a family coaster. So I tend to go on single riders, which means I'm always sat next to someone, obviously. I'm not a very good socialist. Ooh, wait, what's that? I'm not very good at socialising anyway, at the best of times. So when sat next to a rando, I find that very uncomfortable.
Communal. It's a communal project.
Communism, my favourite type of ism.
And I know that they do as well because it's quite small cars. A lot of them don't seem to know that the drop's going to happen. Spoiler alert. Oh, guys, if you haven't ridden it yet, it's too late. Spoiler alert, 13 has a drop. And it's usually the screams of peril of the person sat next to me that really does scare me every time. So overstimulating. And to make it worse, the last time I went on 13, I got stopped in front of the switch track. I love switch tracks. But in this case, it wasn't such a joyous occasion because I was sat for about half an hour next to a stranger. And she was like a teenager and clearly was way too cool to be sat next to Lou. And I could have just said something like, oh, this is unfortunate, or are you having a good day? But instead I just sat like this looking at the switch track. Terrifying.
The T is overwhelming even though it goes backwards. Nothing scares me more than the single rider social factors. Should I scream or sit in silence? I've not learned the social norm. I can't help but think this rise trains are the exact opposite of swarm.
And if you've gotten this far in the video and you're thinking, what's scary about any of this stuff? Like, what is wrong with you? Surely, well, first of all, don't call me Shirley. It's funny. You're probably thinking like, oh, it must be like Nemesis because of the speed. Nemesis is not on this list. And if you're about to get annoyed at me for not saying Nemesis Reborn, I'm never going to call it Nemesis Reborn. I don't see it as a born-again Christian. If anything, it's backslidden entirely. Christian jokes. So here's one that actually I think a lot of people can relate to, whether you're an enthusiast or not, in terms of like fear rating. It's actually stealth at Thorpe Park. Yeah, it's very short cycle. It's probably going to be removed in the next 2 years, is my prediction based on nothing at all. It's got no theming really, other than a horrendously loud soundtrack to accompany the extremely loud launch.
For a ride called Stealth, they have an awfully loud soundtrack. It is a guy peeping.
But there's something about the anticipation being about to be launched. Like that, I don't like the anticipation. Same as Drop Towers, it's just the waiting. It really does make me very nervous. Like the last thing I want to see on my relaxing day out at a theme park is traffic lights. I don't like driving. I don't want to be given the illusion that I'm about to enter a drag race. I will stall. I think it must be that I'm expecting to stall. Which actually, to be fair, on Stealth, if I get a rollback, that's the dream come true, but not good. It is not good. I don't like launches. At least with Rita, the seats, like you can't really see over them anyway. I know they're the same seats. But like with Stealth, you can just see the tip over the back of the ridiculously high seats, the peak. And I don't like the anticipation. But because it's one of the only things that still scares me, I'll still do it.
Ambient music down, cause I'm overstimulated now. Pretending to drive is bad for my health. I sat next to James, smiles on stealth.
So yeah, I did say that sort of fast stuff doesn't scare me, inversions don't scare me.
This guy is mad lad. Oh my gosh.
I know, but I'm such a mad lad. I'm scared of bugs though. Which means going on Jewel at Alton Towers. I know it's not there anymore, it's Curse of Alton Manor. Before it got themed to a haunted house, haunted by a girl, it was haunted by zombies and you could shoot them. So at least you had some form of self-defense. And now I just have to carry Jesus with me in Curse of the Alton Manor. And to be honest, shouldn't really be riding it as a Christian, I'm just saying. Yep, just had that conviction while I'm sat here. Oh. Well, anyway,
The Lord disciplines those he loves.
That's thrown me off. When I first went on this, again, I was year 8. I was pretty young. I was still wearing Gap zip-ups, you know, the brand Gap. I used to think that stood for something really mean. I'll get cancelled if I say it now. I went on it with my friend Phoebe. If you're watching Phoebe, hiya. Don't know how far into my videos you get nowadays, but hiya. My school friend Phoebe, and she was pretty chill. She's a very chill girl. But for some reason I fruck out. I totally fruck out. I don't even think I held the gun. I like hid into her. It was like a 6-minute ride or something. It was so long. The bit, you know, where the head comes over the top and it's like... Sorry, my cats just woke up. Oh my gosh, my neighbours totally just heard that. I hope that got picked up. Yeah, that used to scare me so much, even though it was just, I could very visibly see it was a mask on the end of a wooden stick. Oh, it was just so freaky to me. I could never do ghost trains. I remember having a similar reaction to the one in Flamingo Land as a really, really young child. Not happening, and I still get weirded out by dark rides that are even meant to be kind of cute. That one in Fantasy Island, no way. Not doing it. Very scary. Only of the ones at Blackpool genuinely give me like the heebie-jeebies. Oh my goodness, like as a honourable mention, the Alice in Wonderland ride at Blackpool, the history alone, like the fact that it burnt down and they were like, well, it's a piece of history, you must keep it. What about that ride made Blackpool think this is worth the restoration? Didn't they just take that as a sign? It got burnt down, it's probably going to be cheaper for us to demolish it now. Get rid of it. It stinks. When you go in it, it smells like an abandoned building. It's so
unpleasant.
Ooh, can't say that. And a tunnel of love. No, I don't like dark rides like that. They move so slowly that I'm just like, get me out of this scene right now. It feels like torture. Anyway, going back to the topic of driving, I mentioned this in another video, dodgems. I hate it. I hate it. Why am I going to spend about £60 to get to a theme park to just drive a slower car around and deliberately go into collisions with people? That's not a fantasy I have on the road. It's not, why don't I just bump into this person with no consequences whatsoever other than mild whiplash? I don't ever fantasize about doing that. I don't know about you guys, especially not ones themed around Angry Birds. What's that got to do with anything? And also sat there on your own in a car with, well, a seatbelt that's basically making zero contact with my body anyway. A bar that's, if anything, going to only cause winding into my stomach if I do come into a collision. There's nothing to protect me, and knowing that everybody else out there is at some point going to be aiming for me. And then again, the restriction that we can only go in one direction, and usually it's the wrong direction. It's the opposite way of a roundabout. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's making me stressed thinking about it.
Driving down the highway, no, it's just a piece of rubber. I've got a lost attached to me that's creating sparks above her. Someone's aiming for me, so I do a quick runner. Bumped into a wall where it's first pedal, there's only one. Anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise. It's not right, trauma disguised as fun. It was clockwise. We're going clockwise. I really despise dodgems, this is why.
I sound really negative here, but I think this is just the fear in my body coming out as anger. So sorry about that. I'm just going to take a moment to think about a ride I do like. I love the Smiler. You know what? I love the Smiler so much, I'd probably like write music about it. I'm not doing another one. So the next one kind of aligns with my fear of pain. I think that's natural, isn't it? Is that natural? We're going back to Thorpe Park. It's Saw the ride. Obviously based on the Saw franchise, which honestly, I don't think as a movie franchise was that scary. In fact, I found it kind of gripping. I wouldn't watch it now, by the way. So it's not even the theming that scares me on Saw. It's pain in the harnesses. And also, like, when you've ridden it enough times, you actually know that it's gonna happen. Like, you know that little sort of at the end of that brake run and you get launched forward? Why can't we just put some cushions in it, guys? I know it's meant to be horror themed, but please just put some cushions. It would make it so much more fun. It's not even the drop that I'm scared of. It's just the pain. Also, I don't know if you've ever seen the brushes that are on the lift hill as you go up onto your vertical climb. Yeah. Just have a look at them next time you're there. They're pretty splayed. Now, I don't know enough about engineering to know if that's actually a bad thing or not.
Why shorten the ride with heavy braking? Are you in a rush? Your lift hill's looking like a 15-year-old's toothbrush. Don't get me wrong, I admire your props. Movies, is there ever an overhanging drop? Barbed wire, jump scare, tricycle, mouldy seats, inaccurate times.
Okay, that's Saw. What about other horror themed things that scare me lots? Well, The Walking Dead, the ride, obviously. And still, The Walking Dead, the ride, it pushes me past sort of my boundary. Just walking through the queue, don't know if there's going to be actors or not. And even if there aren't actors, I'm probably going to bump into a stranger in front of me because my eyes can't adjust that quickly. It's so dark in the queue line. There's really loud jump scares, you know, that car that crashes through and then the banging on the side, you know, when you go on the brake run at the end. I really don't like it. I don't like it. It's cheap. I miss it when it was X No Way Out. And what is it that door says as well? Again, grammar making me really angry and scared. What is it? It says like, dead here inside, open don't, or something. It really annoys me. We're coming to the end of the video because, to be honest, not that many things scare me. I know, I'm so cool. Yeah, so cool that I make YouTube videos about roller coasters to 600 subscribers. I'm going to give this one an honourable mention because it doesn't really scare me, but it probably should. It's the Smiler, obviously the incident that happened. I actually left a gap there so that I could put a song in about the Smiler incident, but I just don't really think that's appropriate. Travelling fairs, I wasn't going to include this, but they do really scare me. It's extremes at travelling fairs because for the first time in my entire life, as not just adult but baby creature as well, I felt very sick and like I was going to throw up on a ride, and it was extreme. So that wasn't that good. And it actually broke my heart a bit. I was like, wow, I'm at the end of an era now. So yeah, the fear there being a finite lifespan in terms of my body. Aging, I suppose, probably a nicer way to put it.
The clothes I was born in are now classed as vintage. Am I getting bigger, or is it tumble dryer shrinkage? My hairline's receding, but you'll only know though if you look at my Hyperia on-ride photo. Am I aging? Aging. Aging. This is unrelated, these next bits.
To finish with some of the scariest things ever, and this is an entire category of rides and roller coasters because all of them really do fill me with a lot of dread. Can you think of what it is? It's water rides. And I'm actually quite lucky to be married to a man who feels very similar about this, so we can relate to each other on the way that our bodies feel after a water ride. Now, I know you get things like at Disney, the water rides have a kind of nice smell, and some of the slower dark rides that are water-based have a reasonably nice kind of clean smell. Unfortunately, places like Alton Towers just don't bother with that kind of smell. For example, the rapids at Alton Towers, you barely even get wet, but you know that animals have been pooing in that water. And what, I'm going to be there laughing, giggling on my ride, and then all of a sudden, splosh, in it goes, into the mouth, wide open orifice for infinite bacteria to go in. Yeah, I don't think I even need to say anything more than that about accidentally ingesting water ride water. Even just having it on my clothes, I just feel filthy. I mean, I would feel like that anyway at a theme park, but oh my goodness, it's just rancid. Oh my gosh, it's disgusting. And the idea of it going in my hair, no way, no way, no way. Ew. You know how absorbent my hair is? Someone could be cooking 2 houses away and I will sense it because my hair absorbs it. That's not so stupid. That's reminded me of that Mean Girls thing. So just some honourable mentions in the water ride category that really do scare me. Obviously Tidal Wave, blech. Valhalla, absolutely brilliant ride, but just no, I just and one you might not have thought about, the 4D cinema at Thorpe Park with the water effects that go into your mouth. So overall, I would actually say the scariest theme park in the UK is probably genuinely Blackpool, just because of its sheer number of water rides, dark rides, Wallace and Gromit. And hang on, this is not really related to this video, but can anyone explain this video I saw of this werewolf at Blackpool? Why is it on a tricycle? Why is it moving so slowly? Why is it on its own? Why is nothing else around it themed? I think it must just be the greyness of Blackpool. What is going on there? Ew, imagine the smell on that fursuit. They must be either absolutely boiling or freezing or like growing mold in there. Why is no one interacting with it? Why is it on a tricycle? Why is it on a bike? I don't get it. Anyway, someone please explain that. If you are interested in keeping up to date with when I live stream, you please subscribe and click the notification button, or you can join my Discord. It's free. There's no membership things on it. We just talk about theme parks. There's not really any spam. We've got pet channels. And if you're thinking, oh, nothing really actually scares me on a roller coaster other than sitting on a back row or seeing trim brakes, I have the perfect niche theme park merch for you. Have a look in the description and you will find pins, theme park pins that perfectly describe your feelings. You won't see these anywhere else, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this actually interesting, I realize this is a very personal opinion video, so like literally, why do you care? And let me know if you agree or disagree. What's your scariest ride you've ever been on? Okay, bye.